They say some places are better left alone. Some doors are meant to stay closed. But curiosity has a way of dragging even the bravest souls into darkness. Ethan and Lucas never planned to go to the old Riverside Hospital, tucked on the outskirts of town behind overgrown woods and forgotten stretch of highway. Yet, at 2:30 a.m., their obsession with abandoned places pushed them past reason. What they thought would be a simple thrill became a night they would never forget. For weeks, Ethan and Lucas had talked about abandoned places, but Riverside Hospital was different. Closed for over a decade, it had a dark reputation. Locals whispered about shadows moving in empty corridors, screams echoing in the dead of night, and figures glimpsed behind broken windows. They laughed at the rumors till the moment they arrived. The drive out was unnerving. The roads were narrow, flanked by dense trees that seemed to swallow the headlights. The air smelled damp and earthy, and the silence, it pressed in on them. When the hospital finally emerged, it was worse than they imagined. Broken windows gaped like hollow eyes, walls streaked with stains of rust and decay, and vines clawed at the cracked concrete like skeletal fingers. They parked a little way off, the gravel crunching under the tires louder than expected, and approached on foot. The main entrance was locked, but a side door hung broken, inviting them into darkness. The air inside hit them like a wall, cold, heavy, and wrong. Dust rose in the beams of their flashlights. Rusted hospital beds sat abandoned in hallways lined with peeling paint. Old medical charts littered the floor. Doors hung crooked or were torn from hinges. The faint smell of mold and decay filled their nostrils. It was as if the hospital had been deserted in a rush, but it wasn't empty. At first, there was only silence. Too much silence. It pressed down on them, making the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. Then, footsteps. Slow, deliberate, echoing from the floor above. Ethan froze. Lucas whispered, "Did you hear that?" The sound came again, closer this time. Someone or something was moving upstairs. Despite their fear, curiosity drew them forward. The stairs groaned with every step. On the second floor, the air grew colder. Shadows seemed to twist along the walls. Faded signs labeled ICU and pediatrics hung crookedly, peeling from decades of neglect. A distant drip of water echoed like a ticking clock counting down. Then Lucas grabbed Ethan's arm, his grip tight and trembling. At the far end of the hallway, a figure appeared. Not a person, not quite just a shape, perfectly still, watching them. Their flashlights flickered, and when the light returned, it was gone. Panic surged. They backed toward the stairs. The footsteps followed closer, faster, almost matching their own racing heartbeat. One of the old room doors creaked open behind them, just enough to hint that something had moved inside. They ran. The stairs groaned. Their shoes slipped on scattered debris, heart pounding, adrenaline surging. They barely made it to the ground floor. Then, outside, into the cold night air, they skidded to a stop near their car. Silence returned, but it was fragile. Lucas's gaze snapped upward. Ethan followed. A figure stood at a second-floor window, framed by broken glass and moonlight, motionless, unblinking. Even at home, neither spoke. Later, Ethan reviewed the footage he had recorded. Most of it was a blur of darkness and panic, but there was one moment, the second-floor hallway. The figure was there, and then it moved fast, straight toward them. The video ended abruptly. Ethan and Lucas never returned, and they never would, because some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed. Stories like this remind us that curiosity, when unchecked, can lead us into places we're not meant to be. Not every mystery needs to be solved, and not every door should be opened. Sometimes, the unknown is better left untouched. If this story gave you chills, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who loves a good scare, and subscribe for more true, terrifying stories that will keep you looking over your shoulder, because the next story might be even darker. This is Mystery Stories with me,